Where's the kazoo? God damn it! No, there it is, right there. God, get it! Don't even stop.
It's too far. There we go.
That's right, beautiful. There it is. The show can now officially begin. We've got the
everyone.
kazoo. It's here.
We're back.
I'm Banjo. This guy right here is the kazooie.
I'm the
Welcome.
kazooie. I'm the sharp talking smart one. Okay, because that's what kazooie really was, everybody.
Is that Grunty?
That's grunty.
They sound the same.
No.
Oh, that's the one. That's kazooie. That's
See,
it.
guys? I'm the guy that
one.
knows. Okay, Ralph's a
It's been a long
fool,
time.
everybody.
It's been a long time.
Now,
Guys,
we
welcome.
were on time today, by the way. It's 8 o'clock today, okay?
Yeah,
we weren't
so-
late.
Yeah, we're doing night mode for Laymen. We'll show you when we get to the stories, but we've changed the screen. It's no longer white. We've heard your feedback. The background is going to be black. Okay, get excited, okay?
Oh, you mean Google?
No, you know how we have the white screen where we're showing the images, the websites?
Yeah.
It's black now, baby, for you, for
Well,
the
that's
viewers.
right. I don't know.
They're not seeing it yet. I'm building anticipation,
Oh, I see.
okay? This is the pre-changing of the screen
I see.
anticipation build.
I see. Okay.
Guys, what's going on?
What have you
had
done?
a good week.
What have you done this week, Ralph?
Played video games.
Yes.
You know, that's about it, really.
Very nice.
Good times, great classic hits.
Nice.
WSFM.
Any new games? Or under embargo?
I mean,
or-
nothing under embargo. No. This week I played Serious Sam.
Yes,
Reviewed
both
that.
did.
We both played that. Reviewed that on Skill Up this morning, actually, 3 a.m. The video. Oh, there's no sound. What the fuck? Oh no. No, why you do this? There's no sound.
There is some.
Audio sounds weird. Why is it sounding weird?
Your mics are clipping.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, I hear that. We're gonna drop these right down.
Maybe we were closer yesterday or something.
No, because we're using... Hello, testing now, testing. This sound should level out now. Are we good now, guys? Sorry about that. We had to...
Clipping sounds terrible. You are too loud, guys.
Alright,
Oops.
we had to change our setup a little bit, so we fucked with our mics a bit. This should be fine now if we just drop them down. I'm just checking the... Testing. 1, 2, check, testing.
Someone says they're trolling. Are you guys trolling?
No,
I think there's too many people saying we're
They're
too
saying
loud.
audio is distorted because we were definitely clipping on that one
Yeah,
before.
okay.
Sure. So, alright, sorry about that, guys.
Oh, better now. Thank you, Nitro. Good to see our mods once again in the chat. We do love you, appreciate you.
Yes.
So you played Serious Sam this week.
But Serious Sam this week, review went up 3 a.m. this morning. It's not great. It's not good at all.
It's not terrible.
It's not terrible, by the way. Actually, I found it fun, but I was also like, it's really old and really outdated, and it looks like ass. It looks bad. It really does look just super old.
Like a PS2 game.
Not quite a PS2 game.
like a
I
PS3.
joked it was a PSP game. Okay, it's not a PSP game. and yes, and then I said it was a boomer game in the review.
Yeah.
And all these people were like, actually, if you did any research, you would know that boomers were born in the 1970s, and
That's a
Serious
boomer.
Sam was released in 2000. So therefore, it can't be a boomer game. So disappointed in you, Skill Up.
That's a
I'm like,
boomer right there.
That is a
Right in
boomer
that
right
comment,
there.
that is a boomer, everybody.
They post that on Facebook.
What
for
do I
sure.
play this week? Well, a lot of Overwatch.
You're not playing Overwatch again.
I am playing a lot of Overwatch at the moment.
You're
Oh,
a
yeah.
loser.
And a lot of Smash.
What a loser.
No word yet on the new character on Smash. That's surprising. I thought it was going to be Tokyo.
It's going to be Serious Sam, guys. Serious Sam in Smash. I'm calling it now.
I don't know who it's going to be, but it should be someone soon.
It's going to be some Fire Emblem character.
Yeah, I think we need more Fire Emblem characters, personally. Apart from that, what else we played? We played some Mario 64.
We did.
We played that too.
I
That was
also
out the other
played
last night.
I also played a lot of Risk of Rain 2, which I'm currently working on a review for. That's amazing, that game, can I say? Like,
You do enjoy it?
I love it. It's fantastic. Really polished roguelike. I mean, just obviously because it was an early access for a long time, you can tell that they just polished the shit out of this. Every part of it sparkles and just feels so crisp. I really that does not work today, by the way, because we're driving out of that computer, the other computer.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a long story, which I won't talk about now because it's boring. But Risk of Rain 2, if you haven't played it yet, I really strongly recommend it because it is the tits. Anyway, guys, other than that, that's been pretty much my week.
What a great week that has been, Ralph.
Great stories.
That sounds fantastic.
Guys, we've also had some super chats. We appreciate you. We've got here, we've got Playnator donated £15 just because. What a mad lad. Thank you very much. Poiter, he says, I see you guys next time. Young out. Thank you very much. Francois back. Welcome back. Something's wrong with the sound. Thank you very much. I hope we fixed it. Okay. Did you guys see the first gameplay reveal for Nier 1 Remake? Honestly, I haven't been excited for a game ever, let alone a remake, says Pierce. Yes, I have seen that. I am disgustingly excited for that. Nier Automata, whatever you want to call it.
No, it was called something else.
Extraordinary game. No.
Wasn't it called the remake that they showed it to?
Oh no, I'm talking about the one that I played. Nier
Automata. Okay,
yeah, it was just incredible. So I haven't played the original, so this will be the first time I get to experience it. Super excited for that. And Cisenio is back with 50 Paladin points. He says, missed you guys last week due to some family drama. When my friend had to take a COVID test, and she needed an arm to hug. Thankfully, it came back negative. Very glad to hear that. Watch you guys again 2 times Dono. Very glad to hear that you're all safe and sound, my friend. Guys,
glad everything's okay.
Let's get to some news, shall we? I think we should. Top story. Did you know?
Are we doing the top story already?
No, wait. First story.
First story.
You were looking for the kazoo. I like that, Sam. I like that. I liked your initiative on that one.
Okay.
Did you know that Xbox Series X has already got a price cut in Japan? Series S.
I mean, I'm surprised because I know, right, that Xbox sells amazingly in Japan. Okay, I was in Japan September last year, and I actually went out of my way to go into a game store, knowing how poorly that Xbox sells actually in Japan.
Yeah.
So look, Xbox actually sells terribly in Japan.
Yep.
So I went in there thinking I'll have a look in this game store. There was Switches everywhere. There was consoles I've never seen before. I don't know, like this weird thing. Also, there was plenty of PlayStations. I did not see a single Xbox on sale in that gaming store. I don't think there is barely a presence whatsoever, hence why they are doing this price cut. It has not been official, though. They haven't come out...
No, it has.
No, they haven't come out and said, the reason we're doing it is because we suck in Japan. It's just like...
Because we suck in Japan.
They're just like...
You know the phrase, you were big in Japan? We're the opposite of that,
yes.
You know? Well, okay, they didn't say that, but they did say today Microsoft announced the smaller next-gen console originally priced 32,980 yen will retail for 29,980 yen, which the exchange rate is $400. That means the Xbox Series S is $134 cheaper than the PlayStation 5 in Japan. It also brings the console's Japanese pricing closer in line with its $499 pricing. So I guess they were kind of just looking at the competitive market and thought if we're actually going to make a splash in Japan, we need to go really hard on price, and this cheaper unit needs to be competitive because obviously they priced their unit and then then Sony announced the price of PlayStation 5, and then they thought, shit, okay, cool, let's just maybe drop it further to really give us the best possible chance.
I don't know if that's going to be enough.
Obviously the price of the console isn't that's not going to swing it in Japan. It's going to be about, are there like Japanese games to play on that console? That's the real challenge.
And you know, they are keen. Xbox has said they're keen to get studios on board that kind of go into those markets too, because a lot of COD and whatever on Xbox and blah blah, but like, is it the same kind of geared IP towards the Japanese market that I would say the PlayStation and the Nintendo would be? I would say probably not as much. Having said that, I mean, there's plenty of games that are all across all platforms that plenty of people in all different countries will like.
Sure.
But I think the biggest problem is, my mate owns a PlayStation. I want to play with him. No one else owns an Xbox. Why am I going to jump into that ecosystem? That, that peer kind of situation can be the biggest defining factor why a lot of people will actually go with a specific console. The only other
Japanese school kids like laughing at some guy in the playground when he brings his Xbox Series S to school. They're like, "What are you, American?" So it's a tough road. I mean, Phil Spencer has said though specifically that he does plan to go big in Japan. They are going to be buying studios. They are going to be making sure Japanese games are present on the system. They don't want a repeat of last generation where they were just completely just ejected from Japan. So that's a focus for them. Guys, you know what else is a focus? Super chats. That's another one. That's
a segue into the super chats. I don't think we've ever seen that before.
That's the first time right there.
That's the thing.
Steve, we've got Francois. He says, unless Stadia buys Activision, Blizzard, or EA, rest in peace. Yes, we'll come back to Stadia chat very soon in our top story. We've got here Stefan. He says, the only comment I have on a Serious Sam 4 review is that if I want to play for nostalgia, I just go back to Serious Sam 1. Also, Sam is better at Serious Sam 4. That Sam is a better Sam than Serious Sam 4, really. That's a big call. That's a big call.
Sam is a better Sam. Oh, you mean I'm a better Sam?
Basically, he's saying that Serious Sam 4 sucks so badly that even Sam is a better Sam.
He has so little depth.
That's right.
that I still make it over the line.
TNT Fishing is back. He says, morning lads,
Hey,
made it
buddy.
at 8 a.m. How are your pre-orders for consoles going? Yes, well, I actually did get a pre-order for a PlayStation 5. That happened.
Yes.
And Xbox, I think we're going to get sent an Xbox. Fingers crossed.
Hopefully.
That's like the dream, okay?
Xbox, buddy. How are you, Phil? How's the kids? Good?
That's the dream, okay? So we're saying, it's like, oh yeah, they love us. Yeah, did I mention how much we love Xbox? Love Xbox. I'm not actually sure if we're going to get sent a PlayStation 5 for review. That's a question mark, actually. But we are actually speaking to both Sony and Xbox about that because we would like to be able to get early access to consoles. I know Xbox currently have preview units out in the wild.
I have
with
seen
certain
plenty of
media
people,
outlets. They are able to review those right now. They've got hands-on with them. They're doing photos and whatever else. Sony are doing a hands-on event in Japan with some Japanese content creators next week for the PlayStation 5. But it is usual that they send out review units 1 or 2 weeks before launch. We're hoping that we get one of those review units so we can show you guys what it's like to unbox it, to set it all up, to play it, to do the things. We're chatting with
all that.
We're chatting with
It's
those guys
pretty
right
fetch.
now. Did we get an RTX 3080-90, asks Walter Venerable for $20.
Thank you, $20. Thank you.
I did not. And I tell you what, man, I fucking tried.
No, but you didn't try for 390.
No, I didn't try for 390.
38.
But I did have a little notification ready for when the 390s went live, just to see. And sure enough, as soon as I clicked on it, it was gone. I have like so many notifications across so many websites for 3080s, right, in Australia. I get all these emails, and as soon as you click the email, because it's back in stock. You're like, sick. Click. As soon as you go and click that link, even if you're just sitting right in front of your email, it's already sold out, man. There's just no point in clicking. There's no point in clicking those links.
We are seeing a lot of bots actually grabbing that, but it's good to see M-Wave in Australia release one of the particular people that do sell the new GTXs. They're all coming back saying, well, actually, if we're able to identify that you're a bot or you're a scalper, we are not honoring your purchase, people.
Get wrecked,
which is pretty good.
Yeah, they cancelled their orders.
Yeah, so this is the shit thing about everything going online. Like, you can't just walk into a store and ask for 40 of them, but online you can.
Yeah, that's
true.
Know? It's super disappointing. Ray Bauer says, beat Nier Automata with true ending, great game, can't wait for Replicant 03456789000. Yes, agreed. I'm with you with that, friend. Chaos Capricorn says, seems like Microsoft...
$40 reduce.
Thank you very much,
$40 Freedom dollars.
It's very generous.
Thank you very much.
Seems like Microsoft reminded the gaming industry the Eldritch Corporation they are and how their real rivals are the megacorps. Yes. So basically saying that,
what?
Microsoft is big, man. They don't worry about Sony.
They
could buy Sony with pocket change, right? The real competition they're eyeing is the likes of Google and Amazon, but we'll talk about that when we talk about our top story.
Yes.
Let's get back to some news now. Let's switch back over. Our next story is it's a feel-good story. This one.
Okay. I thought we were going to go to the Xbox train for
there's a whole block of Xbox later on. Did you see the black, by the way? See the black?
Oh, that's what you mean.
The dark mode, baby. The dark mode.
Is that why we changed?
For you guys. That's right. That's why we changed.
Okay. So Maneater, baby. So Ralph, you played this.
I did play this. Game of the generation, by the way.
I have not played it yet, but seeing that they are going to be doing some significant upgrades now. Later on in the news, we'll also see something that we thought may have been updated, but it's not. A lot of games sometimes are ported over to consoles or next gen. Maneater is going the extra level here, okay? It's not only going to be win Game of the Year this year, it's also going to come out... Game of the Generation. It's going to come out again with 4K, 60 FPS, ray tracing, which might be quite incredible because it's all in the water. There's going to be boats and shit.
It actually has some really cool lighting sequences as well. There are these little bases that you go to in each new zone that have all this crazy neon lighting and shit. So seeing ray tracing in that would actually be kind of cool.
That could be pretty damn cool. DualSense controller support, whatever, and more. More stuff is probably the most important thing.
So that is a game that, look, this is the thing, right? If you can get Maneater on sale, I actually really recommend it to you. It's basically just one of the old Ubisoft games where you go around clearing map markers, but it's funny.
Is this Ubisoft?
No, it's not.
Okay.
But it's funny, and it like runs really well, and it's stupid and cool, and I actually really enjoyed it. It's like maybe 7-8 hours long, and I actually had a really good time with it. Like I made a total shit post with my review of it, just basically memeing on The Last of Us, but the game itself is actually good, so I kind of recommend it. It's good to know that it's going to be getting a free upgrade, because free upgrades, it seems, are becoming rarer and rarer each day. At least if we look at the Sony situation with the Spider-Man. It turns out there is no free PS5 upgrade for Spider-Man on PS5.
Which is interesting.
Now, this is has become a bit of a drama for Sony and Insomniac. TLDR, right? There is a new version of Spider-Man. It's so fucking complicated, can I say? Okay. Miles Morales, you can buy it on its own. It's a PS5 game. You can also on PS4. You can buy the PS5 Ultimate Edition of Miles Morales, and that will include a upgrade for Marvel for Spider-Man, for the original Spider-Man. Okay, that's an extra $20 on the box price. Okay, you can also buy a standalone upgrade for PS4 Spider-Man into PS5 for $20, right? And I think you need to have Miles Morales base version. Yeah, I think that's how it works. You can buy the Miles Morales base version, and then
decide later.
And then you can decide later if you want to upgrade for that extra $20 to get the upgrade, okay? But there's no free upgrade available for Spider-Man on PS5. You need to pay for it by some means, and you're paying like $20.
Sony was pretty vocal about that. They did try and set their precedent by saying, look, we're not going to be pushing any of our developers to do the smart delivery system. It does suck, but at least they're not changing some original thing out of pressure because Xbox have done it. They were pretty open about it not several months, but like 6 weeks ago or whatever. That was probably going to be a thing with their internal studios. Having said that, it does suck. PS4 Spider-Man though, I mean, why not, right? Like, why can't we see this also on PS5? That'd be pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, look, the thing is, right, because it's so weird about this, right? Because if you look at what they've done some things to improve it, for sure. And I definitely don't want to create the impression that Insomniac has done nothing and are just providing a version on PS5 that you can play. This is an upgraded version. They have a locked 60 FPS frame rate. They have changed some of the textures. They've done some new facial animation stuff. They're going to be taking advantage of the new instant loading hard drive.
Yep.
They're doing the DualSense DualSense support with haptic feedback. There's no question that they have actually done some stuff with this, right? And anyone that says otherwise is incorrect. The question is though, like, is that a remaster? Because a lot of people are like, hey, this probably should have been free, okay? And a lot of people are like, no, it's a remaster. So therefore, it shouldn't be free, you should pay for it. I don't think the list of things that they have committed to there really classify it as a remaster. It is a straight up upgrade. Like, it's it's a next gen upgrade. Similar to Maneater, which is going to be doing ray tracing and DualSense support. Similar to, like, The Witcher 3, which has been announced.
Which actually is a lot more than that.
Which is a lot more than that. They're adding heaps of extra stuff. CD Projekt Red are adding a whole bunch of extra stuff to The Witcher for next-gen consoles. Not just the PC port being brought over to consoles, but, like, adding new things, like ray tracing support and a whole bunch of other stuff. I don't know, man. It just feels like Sony could have eaten the cost of this and made people really happy, especially given how many feet Xbox are putting right at this point. Do you know what I mean?
I think a few things. Number one, they're already currently developing a new Spider-Man game, so they could have put a very small team in terms of the facial animations and all this kind of stuff. That could have been ported directly over from the Morales game, or increasing the textures. That's something that can be like a dial almost, that's not true. That's not true. In terms of like doing those kind of things, making textures nicer within the world. I mean, that's not overly hard from what I know.
There's a million ways to do that. Don't agree with that.
If I download Mario on my phone, I can make it 4K. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's already
resolution.
levers.
That's not texture.
There's already. What I'm saying is there's levers that are already there to make things a lot easier in terms of. Nicer.
I don't think it's appropriate to just sort of wave it off and be like, oh, it's easy what they're doing. Like, we don't know exactly.
I'm not saying it's easy. What I'm saying is. Remaster is definitely the incorrect word.
Yes.
Because that was, remaster really insinuates that it's built from the ground up.
Yes.
Or it's really significantly changed. This is just a light touch-up. This is a light touch-up.
I think actually that's probably pretty accurate, a touch-up, you know what I mean? And so, But, you know, when you talk about this online, like for Control, for example, everyone was like, because there's, you know, next gen version of Control, they're like, oh, it's terrible that 505 are charging for that. You know, terrible. And then, you know, everyone's agreed on that. But if you say, like, Sony, that's like, oh, well, hang on, that's a remaster. You know, like, no. It's okay when Sony does it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's definitely been some strong double standard energy that I've seen there. Either way, I really feel like it just would have been smart business for Sony to be like, you know what, have this.
Just like, how much money are they going to make off this? This is the thing.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, like,
Morales is going to be the one that, you know, gathers up all the hype. How many people are going to go into the PlayStation Store and either re-download it, re-buy it on PlayStation 5, or, you know...
I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people will want to play Spider-Man who haven't played it before, like, and they'll be like, oh, cool, that's a game I can play at 60 FPS on my next-gen console. And I haven't had a chance yet. It's not like everyone's played Spider-Man. Do you know
I think like it was the fastest selling or the biggest selling console game, first party studio for PlayStation.
Yeah, it was hugely popular. Don't get me wrong.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, I think a lot of people already have, and I just think all in all, I agree with you. Like, if you are ultimately like just doing a light touch up, and your main seller is going to be the Morales game, and you've already made a lot of money on the PS4 off the huge install base. You're not going to make a lot of money off this one, especially when you're pricing it, what, $30 or something?
Yeah,
anyway,
well, $30 Australian, yeah. And I mean, look, I think that it's really kind of, so I think Sony have had a really fantastic generation in terms of their focus on the players.
Speaking
and I
of
think
that,
they've been nice. And I think they've actually been very pro-consumer in many regards, because they have been, among everyone really, the one publishing house committed to single-player games with no microtransactions.
And extremely high quality.
Extraordinarily high quality, right? Immediately, though, there's this narrative emerging of Sony being like anti-consumer, and I just think that's unfair, you know? I think you can say, hey, this is not a great move. You know, it would have been great for you to not do this, but I don't think it's fair to say like, oh, Sony's so anti-consumer, blah, blah, blah. Like, after an entire generation of some of the best games we've ever seen and zero microtransactions in sight. Even just compare that to Microsoft, right? They've had a lot of microtransactions in their games, and the quality has not been top shelf, you know?
I mean, I wouldn't say a lot, but like, you know...
They've had a lot of microtransactions. Gears of War, Forza, fucking Halo, like, that's been a
the driving
core
pedals or whatever they did.
What?
Remember the driving pedals in Forza or something? Like, they did some stuff in Forza that were like... Anyway, there's definitely microtransactions. But what I'm saying is, I wouldn't say it's microtransaction ridden like EA. But they definitely, They definitely gave you the option in those first-party studio games. But it never like changed the way that you played those games. But I don't think that PlayStation is, you know, ever gonna at the moment create some, anti-consumer image. It's gonna take a long time.
No, a lot of people. A lot of people are they're pissed off about $70 games.
Yep.
They're pissed off about no backwards compatibility. They're pissed off about this. There's probably some other things that I can't remember now. But there's definitely this growing sentiment of like, oh, that's right, we believe in generations, and then they're also releasing the games on PS4. So they feel like they've been lied to, right, by that guy, Jim Ryan or whatever his name is. So there's that sentiment that's growing. And I said, I hear that, but I just don't agree with that at this point. I really don't think we can say that, you know, Sony's like anti-consumer, like...
No.
I think it's too early for that. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, guys, there's some super chats. Let's get to them. That was a big story. I wasn't really expecting it to talk that long.
Yes,
but,
it really did go quite far.
We've got, who have we got here? We've got Ray. No, we've got Chaos. Oh, we got him already. Atlas AUTV says, I'm not giving you $500 again, mate. Just saying, Kappa. Good to see you both. Was Atlas the one that gave us $500? Have we ever got a $500 donation?
I think we got 300 once.
I think it was like 300.
Which is like $500 Aussie.
That's right. That makes sense.
We do appreciate
Welcome back, friends.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
You paid your annual subscription to Laymen.
Annual subscription to Laymen. You bought our season pass, okay?
Good.
Zendrew is here for $5. I heard that only shills stream on Facebook. That is true. Jermaine Haynes says, much love from Japan, guys. Thank you very much. Drake AU says, once you go dark background, you never go back. There you go. That's what I hear, guys.
Yes.
Connor Sargent for €50. That's a lot of euros.
That's
thank
like
you, Connor.
$80.
Hey, lads. Didn't get the new RTX GPUs, so have some extra cash. that Bethesda news was pretty crazy. You hear the story that Todd Howard told about Morrowind rebooting the original Xbox when loading levels. I did not hear that story. I know there was an interview that they did recently with like Phil Spencer and Todd Howard and Pete Hines, but I haven't seen that interview yet. But yes, thank you very much for being here, Connor. Matt Gig says, I jumped into Destiny 2 recently for the first time, having a blast, aware of your history with the title, really curious if you're going to cover Beyond Light. I would like to. The problem is that week in November is when everything comes out. And I think at that point I'll probably have a review code for... So I think Beyond Light is the 10th of November. I think I'll probably get sent early review code for Cyberpunk before then, right? So I think I'll be playing Cyberpunk at the time. And I'm going to be playing Cyberpunk, man. Nothing is fucking stopping me from playing Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I've specifically made sure as well that CD Projekt Red will not be sending Sam review code for Cyberpunk. So it'll just be me, and I'll be able to lord that over
Thank
him.
you.
So that's been a big focus of me.
Well,
and CD Projekt Red have been really on board with that.
I think you're CD Projekt Rad. Okay, you guys are nice, so send one to me, please.
So we've got as well, Ensign Hall says Microsoft just bought Bethesda. Whoa, no way!
Whoa.
Holy shit! Oh, stop the presses, guys.
Let's do a story on that. Let's go back to the news for one day.
Thrasher says, Fudge, yeah, I caught you guys live. You guys rule. Thank you very much. Miguel Gomez says, all those Xbox games you mentioned have multiplayer. Do you know if The Last of Us 2 will have microtransactions? The multiplayer mode, I don't know if it's going to have microtransactions or not. So we will see. Anyway, guys, and then Walter Venerable became a member. Thank you very much, Walter. We appreciate you. Let's get back to this other news. The other thing we had about PS5 is that the digital editions are in quite low supply. Basically, it's kind of like a 75% with the disc, 25% without it.
Which I'm surprised, because... Well, do you want to continue?
No, go.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm surprised because I really feel like any price difference in terms of a product when one's a little bit cheaper, I always expect that one to sell more of it. Yeah. Especially when we're going now into the age of digital more than we have ever before. More and more people are coming around to the idea of just buying digital stuff. I know that, I mean, for our brother, for instance, like Josh, I mean, he's going to be the perfect candidate of just buying one without a disc. He saves a bit of money. There's going to be a lot of people that kind of fall into that. I'm surprised that they've done 25% of their total orders that are going out, at least in the UK. For this particular UK retailer, he's saying that there is 75% for the disc and 25% for the discless. Not sure if other areas are having similar figures, but that's what he's received.
Sure.
That's pretty crazy, because I do feel like I would expect it to be like 40-60. To be honest, like 60% diskless.
No. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of people still value the disc drive because they like buying their games, they like trading them in. Yep. Like, that's a thing. If you, the simple economics of it are straight up and down, right? If you buy like 4 disc-based games at a retailer, you are probably saving money, right? Because the retailers apply discounts that the digital stores do not. So,
and you can return them.
And you can return them, you can trade them in, you can do all that sort of shit, right? Yeah. So a lot of people are still wedded to that. I personally don't buy discs anymore. Like, when I do buy games, I always buy digital. But what disc I do buy, though, is Ultra HD 4K movies. That's important to me. Right?
I did buy the PS5 with the disc.
You did, yeah, for sure.
I did,
for sure. I mean, I got it just for, you know,
just in case.
Just in case, do you know what I mean? But I can understand why a lot of people are moving on from that now. So yes. Anyway, that's the PlayStation 5 news. Actually, that was the last thing we got about PlayStation 5. Is that the pre-orders? So the pre-orders didn't go well. Great, and it was a rare moment with Sony where they actually apologized about it on their Twitter feed, which they don't usually do. This is not the tone they take with their Twitter account.
I don't think I've ever seen. Well, we do see it, but like, we don't see huge things like this that they come out and be so honest and genuine. I love when we do see this.
Sure.
I mean, you guys can read it now, what they're saying. It's just like ultimately saying, you know what, guys, we messed up. We fucked up. We thought we had this under control, but we did not. I like to see that, you know. All it takes in the gaming community is a little bit of ownership of like what's gone wrong, or some accountability. And most people are going to be like, okay, well, you owned it. Fair enough.
Sure.
We'll move past it. You know, like, that usually goes a long, long way.
I think so.
You know?
I mean, there's genuine stock shortages across the board for PlayStation 5, for Xbox One, for Xbox Series XS, and for the RTX cards. I mean, obviously, supply chains are pretty battered this year with Corona.
Yeah.
But Sony didn't help themselves with the way they handled the kind of launch. Like, surprise! Time to pre-order!
Well, it didn't work with Xbox either. If we're to be honest.
That's it. Well, no, we're going to come back to that story as well.
Yes.
So we have got that. It was just as bad for them, and as I said, just as bad for Nvidia. So
yes.
So there's that, guys. One other thing that was quite wild this week, I was quite surprised about this, is that Among Us 2 has been cancelled. I was surprised about this.
No way. Because, okay.
So let's do the news first.
Okay, so number one, Among Us was planning to do Among Us 2. They go into detail below saying, look, they are really, the original plan was to make Among Us 2. The discussions internally was all about what are we going to keep for Among Us 2? What kind of stuff are we going to put into Among Us 1? The idea of moving to Among Us 2 was all about the coding from the original one. Just was like an older style coding, so this new one was going to be updated or whatever. But because the massive, gigantic success of a game that came out 2 years ago, they've had to come back to the drawing board and say, actually, guys, maybe we should actually just keep doing this one.
Yeah.
So now they're going to revert to just putting all their current content into the current Among Us and having to work with that older code.
Which I think is smart.
Yes.
No, I mean, I think at the beginning of this excitement, they were like, fuck, man, we better make a sequel.
Yeah.
And then it got so massive that they were like, shit, we can't make a sequel. We've got to ride this. Do you know what I mean?
It's like Fortnite 2. Like, you don't need it.
Fortnite 2.
You don't need it. Like, it's already too popular.
You can definitely expect some sort of Marvel crossover in Among Us now. That should be this next thing, where it aims to become that kind of branding platform where, like, they need to do a Knives Out. You know that movie from everyone's favorite director?
Of course. I actually watched that recently.
It's a good film, man.
Really good, I thought.
Really good film.
Really fantastic.
Yep.
Maybe they just need a black hole and it swallows everyone up, and then you just see a black hole waiting for season 2. That's what they need to do in Among Us. Okay, that would work. No, but like this game's been massively successful. It's all about the hype train, keeping it going. Fortnite has been like keeping its popularity. I think. Holy shit! Whoa! Thank you. All right. Well, let's just stop the news for a second.
Oh, nice, Sam.
Well, $120 Freedom Dollars. Thank you so much. Gonna toss a coin to my layman. Thanks all for the news and good bands. We do appreciate that.
I hate passwords. No, seriously. He's a regular, by the way.
So yes.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. 120
appreciate
Freedom Dollars. That's basically 8,000 Australian dollars. That could almost buy one PlayStation. No, that's a lie. It's not.
No,
really
not yet.
Our dollar's not that good.
You can buy a PS3.
You can buy a PS3.
They're still selling mini games.
So we thank you very much. And the other person, actually, the guy from before who said, what was his name? He was Ensign Hall, the guy that said, Microsoft just bought Bethesda. He's like, sorry if it's old news, I have a life.
I like that.
What a legend.
I like that.
We love you, Ensign Hall. Thanks for being here, dude.
The last thing I was saying is, what happened to Fall Guys, man? What happened to Fall Guys?
No, I mean, like, that's everyone's
I know
like,
it's a meme.
I
know it's a meme. But, like, that's like...
Okay, I'll tell you what happened to Fall Guys, okay? Let me show you what happened to Fall Guys. Where is it? Is that the story? Wait, I can't find it now.
That one. Yeah.
I'm trying to find it. Where is it? Shit! It's the story.
Oh, back.
Wait.
Back, yep, that one.
That's the one, okay.
Okay.
This is what happened to Fall Guys, alright? You want a segue? Super dumb. Fall Guys, $185 million PC launch, biggest since Overwatch in 2016. That's what happened to Fall Guys. Do you know what I mean? Like, absolute gangbusters, gigantic levels of success.
I knew it was going to be success. Wait, how much is this going? $20 or something? It's crazy.
It was $20 Australian.
Which is like, what, $1 in US?
Was it like $15 US, maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know.
Crazy how successful this game has been. They need content now. They need content now.
There's no way they could have predicted this. Though. And then they're just like scrambling, like, fuck, we got to put something out.
I mean, they must just be putting out a billion ads for developers. Like, we need staff desperately. Fortnite is so successful because it's like constantly, every week, there is either new skins for Marvel, you can play as the Avengers, or there's just content in general.
True.
Hopefully Fall Guys can get to that same level because I think Fall Guys has a long life ahead of it if there's constant updates.
Dude, absolutely. I think it has that potential to be timeless, the same way that Rocket League is timeless.
Yes.
It has that kind of... Thank you very much. We'll come back to that later. But the size... Can you imagine being Devolver Digital? You are some indie publisher who, you put out games and they always do okay. You got your Hotline Miamis and they're pretty cool, and My Name is Pedro, and they sell like a couple thousand units, couple 100,000 units, whatever else. They got some street cred, whatever, and then all of a sudden you release a game that has like 100.
Fortnite.
Did you know Devolver Digital is basically like 2 people? Can I say that's the thing?
Is it really though?
Yep, it's actually like 2 people.
Wow.
So I mean, these dudes are rolling in cash right
shit.
now. All of a sudden, just got a $185 million payday.
I like those paydays because, you know, I mean, indie, like a developer digital that like kind of specifies into like the indie space, or at least like, you know, a lot of the 8-bit space, or just whatever, right? Like something that gives a lot of attention to smaller developers or smaller games that, you know, they're a little bit risky in what they want to do or whatever, right? I love that idea, and it's good to see them have a huge payday, and maybe that'll just give them the financial strength to do other things in the future that they...
you know what I mean? The funny thing is they always have the parodies of like being the corporate...
Yes.
Like the
like the last one that we watched.
The show that they have for E3, right? That's they're like pretending to be corporate monsters. And like with that amount of money, they can become corporate monsters. They actually can do that now. So their transformation can begin.
They may make as much as EA this year. Like legit. It's on the path now.
It is on the path.
They make $1 billion a year or something.
EA? They make $1 billion just from Ultimate Team.
Of course.
That's peanuts.
800 million off Ultimate Team, of course.
Okay, cool. We got some super chats. Bajan Nasir, he says, when will Shut Up Laymen review Mortal Shell? I actually really want to come back to that because I heard so many great things. So that's on the list. Early October is quite light at this point.
I can't remember Mortal Shell now. I haven't heard the name of it. Yeah.
It's Souls-like.
Okay.
Early October is quite free at the moment. So I'm doing Risk of Rain at the moment. And then I don't know what I'm going to do next. I want to check it out. Saint.com. Why is my mouse dying? Please stop dying, mouse. He says, BC... Pack VA 2.4, 2.5 equals 6 gigabyte versus Kraken Oodle something 19 gigabyte. Okay.
Is it a stream code?
Did we just activate the Manchurian candidates? Is Sam about to murder me? Rodrigo S. Augusto, he says, yo, Ralph, review Mafia Definitive Edition, looking absolutely amazing. Love you guys. We're gonna play that
Monday.
This week. I don't know if I'll review that though. I mean, I don't know if I'll check it out though. I'll see how I feel about it.
We're at least gonna play a couple of hours.
We are gonna play it though.
Let's play it.
I have passwords already an inside hole. Thank you very much, guys. And then we're back with the news, guys. It's time for our top story. Do the kazoo, Sam.
Oh, there it is. What's the 9 News? Oh, 9 News Aussie guys.
No, we need the ABC one. That's the one we need. That's the one. You see the pendulum remix of that?
Man,
God, that's fucking sick.
It's actually copyrighted on YouTube.
Is it really? What, by ABC or by Pendulum?
By Pendulum, probably. Or by like,
not even their song!
AdRev 3 or some shit.
Yeah, some scammers. Fucking scammers.
Terrible. Anyway.
Guys, did you know that Amazon has announced their own cloud streaming service as yet
Luna.
Another nail in the coffin for Stadia. What's Stadia, you ask? Good question. No one knows. Okay, it's a myth. It doesn't exist right now. Okay?
Luna is an interesting name. I was thinking of Cameron. What does this mean? Actually, maybe it's like, you know, moons are connected to the Earth. You know, they get the cloud and they beam it places to like a small little hub. Come on, guys, work with me. Why are they calling it Luna then? Maybe there's a conspiracy. Oh, maybe there's a streaming base on the moon.
That's it, exactly right.
There we go.
A secret moon base.
We got there.
Okay, so this is obviously a really big story. Now, I had heard from pretty reliable sources that this was actually going to be announced at GDC of this year in March. And then obviously the Rona hit. No GDC happened. And it was like, cool, I'm going to turn my phone on silent. And so that didn't happen. And then it was, all right, well, when are they going to announce this? What's happening? Okay. Finally, now in, September, they make the news. It's out. It actually is out already. It's available for testing in October, in the United States only. And it's a cloud streaming service, exactly like you imagine. Like Stadia, like Project X Cloud, like GeForce Now, except all of those have vastly different business models, and this is no different. Amazon's Luna is going to be a $5.99 a month subscription.
Which is extremely cheap.
Well, it's an introductory price, though, to be fair. Okay, so that'll go up later on. And it gets you access to a base library of games. The library of games is as yet unclear.
At the top, it shows Control.
There's some here, but you don't know if all of those... But you don't know if all of those are in the library, because you can also buy games as well individually. So you don't know which of those are going to be in the little package or which you need to buy.
Well, I don't know if it's The Verge putting that image together.
No, that's an official Amazon
If that's the official one, then I would say that they have been probably very specific with what they wanted to put in that opening logo. But look, it's pretty cool to see this. You're right, we did, we knew this was coming. I mean, God, Stadia, man, like... what life does that
Hang on.
have now?
There's more details to discuss here, and then we can discuss the impact on the already dead
the
Stadia.
movies
How
included
many
and stuff.
times can something die? That is the question, right?
Yes.
So, the way it works with Luna is that you're going to pay that base subscription. You're going to be able to buy games, but you're also going to be able to buy subscriptions to other channels. And those other channels will have collections of games on them. So, for example, Ubisoft has confirmed that they are going to have a channel, and that is going to have a selection of Ubisoft games on it. They've talked about the possibility of having a first-person shooter channel. So you subscribe to it, and then you're going to get access to COD, and you're going to get Serious Sam 4 and other assorted
then I'm definitely gonna
games
jump
of the
on.
generation. You know,
Any pricing on that yet? I don't think so, right? In
no
terms of-
pricing on what the additional channels are, because I think they'll probably be set by whoever, like, whatever. If Ubisoft have a channel, they'll probably set the price for it. If, you know, Amazon are going to create a collection of games, they'll have to work with publishers to create a price for that. It's probably going to be different. So it's a hybrid model where you have a base collection of games where you can buy or rent other collections for whatever price,
Yeah.
and you can also buy specific games.
I think that's the best way, because we are going to see so many subscription services now in the next 5 years in the space of gaming. Music has all been consolidated into Spotify, and I know a lot of people don't think that's great. A lot of creatives are being stuffed on that. Netflix has kind of consolidated a lot of the movie streaming market too. Having said that, there are other places that are competing with them.
Yeah,
I think
very much.
Definitely. This one, we are going to see maybe EA have one. We're going to definitely see Xbox, Sony. We're going to have, Nintendo have one. We're going to see Ubisoft. All these big publishers are going to, Activision, they're all going to have their own streaming offering. And I think that they're either going to be, coupling up with big streaming houses already, like Xbox, xCloud, or they're going to be like $10 a pop for every single publisher. It's like, this is maybe a really good kind of middle ground where you can jump on and play a group of games or a publisher's games for a monthly price and drop out in at any time.
Sure.
Because that means that, like, I don't need to be subscribed to 8 different publishers. I just need to play that one publisher 1 month and then end that subscription and then play another one. That will probably be the way it works.
Yeah, I mean, look, I hear that.
Otherwise, I'm spending $80 a month on
the problem is, again, it's like the thing that's great about GeForce Now and about Project xCloud is that they respect your purchases, right?
Yes.
You have the option to subscribe to Game Pass xCloud and just play the subscriptions, and there's like 150 games on that. Okay. You have the option to buy games on Xbox, and you have them forever or stream them. With GeForce Now, you buy your games on Steam, you own them forever, and then you have the option to stream them, right? I think this is a cool service for casual gamers who want to drop in, drop out of stuff, but I feel like the business model of owning a game in a set ecosystem and then having the option to stream it is just vastly better. And I would not subscribe to Amazon Luna, just like I wouldn't subscribe to Stadia. I think there's more of a chance this is going to succeed, don't get me wrong. I think there's an offering here that's potential, but if I have the option to do this through Xbox instead or through my Steam account with GeForce Now, that's where I'm going to go with.
Another thing that I think this is going to be a huge winner, why I think this is going to be a huge winner, is because it's baked into Twitch.
That's true.
And that is going to be huge because so many people are going to be, following their creator that they love on Twitch.
Yeah.
All the hottest games come out, and all these creators, it's so hot right now, and all these games, all these people are watching creators play the newest, hottest game. It's going to be a click away. There's not even any downloading.
But the same thing could be said of Stadia with YouTube. You know what I mean? And they have not capitalized on that at all. But the beauty though,
Stadia's a different
the beauty of what do you call it, of
Luna?
Twitch, Luna,
Yep.
is that you've got an army of streamers who are going to be it's going to be really easy to promote this through them. So you could just pay Shroud or whatever and be like, hey dude, just give us a shout out, and all of a sudden you get a lot of people, you know. It's not quite the same in the YouTube ecosystem. It doesn't convert in a one-to-one way as neatly, you know. The other thing that's interesting to note is that this is going to be available on iOS. Now, if you've been paying attention to the news, you'll know that Apple is all against making games available on their platforms through the App Store, because they're like, oh no, we need to individually review each game.
Yes.
Utter fucking bullshit. They don't review each song, they don't review each movie and television show that goes up through streaming services, but they want to review each game, and the reason is because games have microtransactions and they want their cut, right? This, though, is going to sidestep that because it's not an app that loads through the App Store. It's actually just through the web browser. So you're playing this game through, like, the Safari browser. You're completely sidestepping the App Store. And the question becomes now, will Apple let that slide, or will they stamp it down?
How do they make their money? But we have seen Amazon get special treatment from Apple before. In terms of instead of having to pay the 30%, I believe at least 2 of their apps get 15% instead of a cut. Because Apple, of course, wants to have one of the biggest players on the internet, that is Amazon. Kind of cool controller, by the way. It looks very similar.
Does it look a little bit similar to this one?
Very, very.
Have you seen this controller before, Amazon?
Is it as comfy, though? There's nothing more comfy, I think, in the current generation than that. It's incredibly comfortable.
It is pretty comfortable.
The Switch Pro, we're talking about.
I love the Series X.
Yes.
Nice. And it's got the back buttons.
It's a bit heavy, though.
I love that it's heavy.
No, I don't like
I love you could beat someone to death with it.
It's great. Look, so this is looking all pretty fetch. I think I think all the pieces are in the right place. They've got Twitch behind their back. They've got a huge gaming community. It seems to be relatively fair in pricing for the Founders Edition or whatever they're going to call it. I think it's kind of cool to know that if I want to play some Bethesda games for a month, I can play that for I don't know what the pricing is going to be. But let's just say it's going to be $8.99 a month.
You can do that on xCloud.
Yeah, well, fine. But what I'm saying, you can do that next. You're right.
And I wonder whether or not they will actually be available on this service.
It wouldn't make sense though. They just spent $7.5 billion. They want to make sure it's only on xCloud.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. So
yeah. So I'm talking more like EA or Activision
Sure.
or Ubisoft, as we know they've already got a partnership. So
yeah.
Anyway, exciting times. And we want competition with xCloud. We want that.
We just to make sure that Stadia dies, okay?
Yes.
No, and there is. What do you guys think? Stadia is the worst of any possible business model. You are buying a cloud-based game for a service that will probably not exist in 2 years' time. Yep. You're paying full price for it. You cannot play
and
it.
A monthly subscription.
And a monthly subscription to play it pro. Fucking what the hell, man? Anyway, so look, anything that contributes to. Look, I'd be okay with Stadia existing if it changed its stupid business model. I got no problem with Stadia being successful, just not the way it's doing it now, okay? So I don't want Stadia to die, I want it to change. And if it doesn't want to change, then I want it then die. That's okay with me, do you know what I mean? So we've got some more super chats. We've got here, Metal Wind X says, Sam, can you get me a free Series X from Japan?
I'll try my best.
You can make that happen. A Filthy Casual says, did you guys see the leak showing there's going to be a 20GB version of the 3080? Yes, I have seen that. Yes. And hopefully we'll grab one of those. I think hopefully by then stock will have come back in and we'll be able to get it. Because right now it's impossible to get a 3080. Francois says Anthem 2 is going to save Stadia, mark my words. Adam Finlay, $10, just on by to support the boys. Loving the new format.
Thank you, buddy.
I was also happy to see you guys do a new segment. Would like to see more from time to time. We hear it. We hear that. We read the comments. We know. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you. TNT Fishing is back again, lads. What's it going to cost for a gig on the Laymen casting couch? Well, you can see we're pretty thick as it is. There's not much room on this couch.
Not a lot of room,
when Alex sits on this couch, it breaks.
This is the third couch we've gone through.
We have to put it up on cinder blocks at that point to keep it together. Ben S says maybe after a Risk of Rain Horizon review. Sounds risky. I don't know, man. I do need to go back to my Horizon review, actually. Ben S. No, that was the one. Stefan says, Ralph, note and check a niche game called The Longing. Okay, I'll look it up. Thank you, friend. God is here. God, thank you very much, God. Everything is one. Smoke DMT, eat acid, see God. There you go. That's very much. That was God, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here.
That's exactly what I thought God would say.
Ensign Hall Anthem is rubbish, apparently. Ensign Hall is now bringing us all the latest news.
Thank you.
Bethesda has been bought by Microsoft, and guys, Anthem is apparently rubbish. It's not confirmed, but we'll look into that as well. Thank you very much, Ensign Hall. And Thrasher says, I got my PS5 pre-order through GameStop on the 17th, but I'm worried since I heard they were cancelling pre-orders. But what should I be good right now? But I should be good right now, lads? Oh, right. I don't know, dude. I want to who knows? I don't want to make any promises to anyone on retailers because they always screw people over at the last minute. They're like, you're expecting your PlayStation to arrive like today, and you get an email.
We may not get one.
And then they're like, oh, actually, we cancelled your order because of stock levels. And you're like, oh, dude,
there's every chance that, the one that I've purchased or whatever is never going to actually.
Because I actually pre-ordered from Amazon as well. So, yeah, man. But I got it, I clicked that link the second it went live.
I went like an hour after or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Hey, this is actually a really interesting story.
I didn't know what this was. Yeah. Right? This is added in. I love this game.
No, I didn't add this in. This was always in there.
Definitely wasn't.
It
but anyway,
definitely was.
I love this game, so I have to figure out.
What's this game, Sam?
So Dreamhaven, guys, has actually been made for quite some time now. I'm really excited to see this finally coming. A lot of speculation on Twitter and Reddit in regards to what this was going to be. You know, a lot of people.
What is it though?
Well, I mean, I'm just going to get there.
All right, sorry.
So look, this game ultimately is looking to do multiple genres. It's really looking to do the kind of sci-fi fantasy. And look, a lot of people are excited to see that because we haven't seen a lot of those games in the last last 2 or 5 years.
Definitely not.
So, you know, it's going to be like a semi-RPG. The developers have been working on this for about 3 to 5 years.
Yep.
It's been under wraps,
Yep.
but it's looking really, really positive. And today or yesterday, around that time, they finally unveiled some more information on it. How close was I?
Really close.
Was I actually? No.
Extremely close.
No, honestly.
No, really. Like,
Honestly.
amazingly close. I can't
Fuck
believe
off.
how accurate you were with this
You're
description.
bullshitting me.
No, for real.
I swear to God.
It's amazing.
Oh, come on.
You totally nailed that. I can't believe you
No.
got the story 1,000% correct
Okay, so I'm
just
wrong.
by looking at this image.
Okay.
That's incredible, people. We witnessed history here, okay? It's huge.
No, come on. You know.
Dreamhaven
Yes.
is not a video game.
Oh, damn!
It's a studio.
No way!
It's fucking Blizzard 2.0.
Oh,
It's
of course. This
Oh,
is.
that one.
This was. Of course, this
Of
was
course,
in
that
there.
one.
Oh, I actually can take this story now. Because they're pissed off at how Activision has put their teeth into Blizzard.
Oh, man. Okay, so Dreamhaven is a new studio of sorts that has 2 game developers within it, Moonshot Games and Secret Door, okay? Now, it's headed up by Mike Morhaime, who is the former CEO and co-founder of Blizzard Entertainment, who recently left the company,
Yes.
and he's now started this thing, okay? With him, and these people... Did you enjoy Sam's guessing game?
I thought that was a great moment.
That was a great. That was
a great
well
moment.
played, Sam.
Okay.
So there's 2 studios. First of all, let's talk Moonshot. Moonshot is led by Jason Chase, Dustin Bowden, and Ben Thompson. Chase was previously an executive producer at Blizzard Entertainment, where he led the Hearthstone team, a senior director at Electronic Arts, and before that, led art teams at Walt Disney Company Game Division. Bowden's 25 years includes roles as game director on StarCraft 2, Heroes of the
Wow.
Storm,
Okay.
Command and Conquer, and
Heroes
Lord
of
of
the
the
Storm,
Rings.
oof.
Thompson's credits include creative director on Hearthstone, art director for World of Warcraft trading game, with additional credits on Dungeons & Dragons. Then there's Secret Door, is led by Chris Siggety, Alan DeBerry, and Eric Dodds, who worked on multiple genre-defining games. Siggety's roles include executive producer on Hearthstone, StarCraft, and Heroes of the Storm, as well as lead producer on the original Warcraft 3. Dodds was the original game director of Hearthstone and veteran game designer on World of Warcraft, StarCraft. DeBerry has filled both technical director and game director roles on Warcraft 3, StarCraft 3, Heroes of the Storm. These are some of the most experienced head honchos at Blizzard, who all left.
In gaming.
And now they are going to start 2 new studios under the leadership of one of the co-founders of Blizzard. That's a big fucking
That's
deal,
huge.
man.
That's huge. And there's going to be... okay, now I actually remember this story. This,
Nice,
they... I don't know if this is the same art. No. There's an article that you linked before talking about why they were doing it. Now, a lot of it was because the influence of Activision on Blizzard has really pissed a lot of people off. They feel like the original Blizzard that we all know and love is ultimately maybe not there. So they wanted to go and start their own thing. It's cool and exciting to see this, and I think there's going to be a lot of pressure for them to deliver a cool game. A lot of people are going to line up for these first games, but they're going to expect Blizzard quality straight away.
No, they won't.
A lot of people think that the founders and the co-founders and a lot of these people working on these were also part of Warcraft and Heroes of the Storm and StarCraft and stuff like that. They're going to expect big things, man.
They will expect big things, but at the same time, they're obviously a small outlet right now. They're building their capacity. They're just the very beginning of their journey.
Oh, I wish them the best. I'm saying I wish them the best. I just mean there's going to be big shoes that they're going to try and fill, I think, based on their previous CV. That's what I mean.
I definitely agree expectations would be high, no
Yes.
question at all. But it is a massive fuck you to Activision for these guys to do this. Because they're basically saying, cool, we built that company, we made it what it is, we don't like what you're doing with it now, we're out, we're going to set up what is not quite a competitor, that's not fair, but they're definitely saying, well, we just don't like working there anymore, we're going to do our own thing. So that's not a great ringing endorsement of where Activision and Blizzard, or Activision Blizzard is at the moment. It's a real shame hearing those stories come out of Blizzard, of staff being underpaid, creativity really stifled, the wrong focus being put on, they don't have the time to let ideas percolate the way that they would like, focus on mobile games and all these sorts of stuff, monetization. I mean, they're a big going concern at this point. And I think there was actually a line that in this thing that said, not this thing, but the other article talking about their dissatisfaction. And they're like, you cross a point where you're not focusing on making the best possible game that you could make, you're focusing on keeping the ship running. And how do you make incremental revenue? And how do you make sure you make more money than you did last year? It's not about like making the best, coolest new game. It's about like keeping the ship afloat, you know.
But
And I get that. That makes sense.
Exactly. Like, but again, like that's not an evil question to ask as a company. I think
it is when you're Activision Blizzard. Do you know what I mean?
No, but like
when
I
you're
mean,
Blizzard, when you're Activision, it's
a lot of these employees have families, and a lot of these, you know what I mean? Like a lot of these people.
Yeah, but they're making billions of dollars in profit. Like it's not like they're struggling, and it's not like these developers are getting the cash. If fucking Bobby Kotick
Of
is like
course,
taking home $40 million.
I'm with you on
I mean?
all of that. But what I'm saying is, the idea of asking how do we make money off our products is okay, and it can be coupled with the idea of let's make the best game ever.
So, I agree with that. Yeah. But what I'm saying is Activision does not have that philosophy. You know what I mean? So anyway, speaking of Blizzard, very quickly.
Looks like BlizzCon is not coming in October, I think it usually is.
October, November,
something like that, right? We had a great BlizzCon last year. That was when the whole Shayna thing was going on. We made a lot of memes about that.
That's right.
Now, it looks like it's been moved to Feb 2021 because they've decided to cancel the one this year. I'm expecting to see some Overwatch 2, some more Diablo 4, because Diablo 4 looks like it's been completely redesigned. It looks incredible, doesn't it?
What?
Diablo 4 looked exactly the same like Diablo 3 when we saw that trailer.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it did.
No, we never said it looked the same.
I thought it looked like... They went from like talking about it making like a Souls-like, and then they went back to the original idea that I feel like, I mean, the isometric, I wanted something more. I wanted something new and interesting from Diablo.
But it does have quite a different visual style. I agree that it doesn't look like it doesn't look like a huge advancement.
No leap forward.
It doesn't look like a massive leap forward from what we've seen so far, but it does seem like it's just really focused on like essentially making Diablo 2 again, but with new graphics. I don't know if that's unfair, but that's the vibe I'm getting.
That's what I was saying, exactly.
Diablo 2 is very different to Diablo 3.
Sorry, yes. So this one also in terms of Overwatch 2. Now, we haven't seen anything on Overwatch 2 apart from that little trailer. I'm really surprised.
Because no one cares about Overwatch then.
Exactly, of course. I'm really surprised it's taken this long to really get this game either to multiple trailers or a release date or something. Because... number one, this current Overwatch is going to be coupled together with Overwatch 2 in terms of both populations can play together. So I'm expecting it to be pretty, not similar in development, but like, got to be like, they're not building this thing from the ground up. That's where I'm going with that. Why is this taking so long? I really want to see this, but I am glad that they're doing the whole population thing together. Do you remember the whole battle they had internally? There was a huge battle internally with Overwatch because the execs were like, trust me, let the both populations play together. Sure. And the execs were like, no way, we won't make any money. But they finally actually went with that. I'm glad that they did that because that's pretty fetch. It's probably one of the few pro-consumer moves we have seen recently from good old Activision and Blizzard.
Oh, sure.
But guys, excited to see that.
We've got Thrasher here. We've got Mario Shasson says, late to the party. Have a beer on me, lads. Will we be doing any Mafia remake review? And also, Ralph, is Destiny 2 worth playing at this point with the new expansion coming out Beyond Light? So, number one, will we do Mafia? We're doing a Mafia playthrough this week for sure. We're going to check it out and do some impressions.
What else is coming out this week? Nothing.
Nothing, actually. So that's
might do an Among Us. Who knows?
So there's that. We will be checking it out. Whether or not I'll review it on Skill, I don't know yet. Destiny 2 is absolutely worth playing if you've never played it before. I mean, it's a fucking amazing game at this point. I mean, anyone that says otherwise, you're wrong. It's just it's in an incredible position right now. It's not necessarily at the best position it's ever been, but if you've never played Destiny before and you just start sinking your teeth into it, there is so much shit to explore. Just incredible. So check it out. And it is actually good to do that stuff first, so then you can just start doing all of the Beyond Light content when that arrives. It's new stuff to work on. So I think it's perfectly fine to start playing through it now. The only thing might be if you want to wait till next gen, if you're on a console, you get 60 FPS, which might be worth waiting for, to be honest.
Is that smart delivery? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's free upgrades.
They have, right? For Destiny.
Free upgrades for Destiny. Cool. All the cool publishers are doing it, like Bungie.
NEA, funnily enough.
NEA, well, they have their dodgy little thing
6 months.
Where they do this one.
6 months window.
Ensign Hall is back. He says, Hello Games are overselling their next project. Well, it's actually funny you say this, Ensign, because this is actually our next transition point. Thank you very much for doing this segue for us. We appreciate that, dude. No Man's Sky Origins is out. He was making a joke about the fact that, No Man's Sky was out years ago and overhyped. Maybe he didn't know that they actually did put out an update for No Man's Sky Origins that just released, No Man's Sky, that just released, yesterday. And it's a massive update with all sorts of shit in
New
it.
planets, new terrestrial areas, new fauna, a new UI. It says a little bit further down.
Dramatic landscapes.
Dramatic landscapes, which means pretty much the same thing.
User interface refresh.
Yeah, user interface refresh, exactly. So there's a bunch of things that they have done, and if you go down further, there's actually also richer diversity. That's right. There's apparently more animals that you will see or whatever. Look, this is pretty cool. I mean,
this is free, by the way. Can I just say that? Like, this game came out a while back. Okay, yes, it wasn't a complete sham.
And
we
we tore it to shreds when we played it
for sure. But like, they just keep adding shit to this game. There are no microtransactions. There's no DLC. There's no expansions. It's just free. It's been like 4 years now of free content, just making this game bigger and better every time, and they've never asked for a cent. That's pretty fucking crazy, man. Hats off to Hello Games and Sean Murray for doing that.
I agree with that.
Obviously, we roasted the fuck out of Sean Murray, and everyone did, right? And obviously they're feeling like, hey, we've got a lot to make up for, and they have, in my view, they've made up for it. Like, they really have just worked their asses off for 4 years and never put their hand out once.
No Man's Sky Next was the first one that we saw some really dramatic changes moving forward. I think we're going to have to make a YouTube video with the thumb. I was wrong. No, but like, I do think that they have actually really stuck to the idea of delivering. When this game came out, of course, it was one of the biggest memes because it was just full of lies of what was going to be in, and then it wasn't. But I would say this is one of the best stories in terms of like working your way back from like the depths of the gaming community.
This and Final Fantasy XIV, really. Like, they're two stories of redemption. You know?
This was utter, like, in terms of the gaming community's eyes, this was utter garbage because everyone was angry that they were lied to. A lot of money was spent on this, a lot of hype. I mean, he went on Stephen Colbert, for God's sakes, and spoke about what this game was going to be, you know, and the hype was there. But 4 years on or 3 years on, I actually feel like from these changes that I'm seeing, and when we jumped onto No Man's Sky Next, it looked like, you know, and there's volcanoes. Like, that's pretty cool.
There's actually sandworms. Like June, man. It's June right here.
Yes.
You can't ride them, unfortunately, which is sad times. So, but look, I mean,
weather effects, cool.
Just tons of stuff, man, and like, and the feedback on it has been really good.
I mean, the question's going to get to a stage now where they, if they're not monetizing anything right now, I mean, that's okay now once they've started to fully deliver their promises to maybe find some type of monetization structure that's fair to the consumer and then keeps them in business because, like, you know, they're obviously now doing some stuff that is delivering. So, pretty fetch.
We've got Ingram Fry. He says Godfall Standard is $159 pre-order at EB Games New Zealand.
Oh my god,
that's fucked, man. Not gonna lie.
Is that the special edition?
Fucked. That's, I don't know. He didn't say.
That must be special edition.
Well, our standard edition is $129, and I don't think there's that big a difference between Aussie and New Zealand dollar. So I'm mentioning yours would be like $139 or something, maybe. But either way,
he might be right there because I remember, like, if you go into Country Road, it's like 89, and it's like 99.
Because we all shop at Country Road, Sam, of course.
Yeah,
that's right. Sorry, if you're in Australia, I don't even know what. I don't know what the American.
It's for the big sizes. They've got big sizes in Country Road. That's why.
They do.
Speaking of big sizes, I don't know.
TNT Fishing Oz is back. Need help, lads. Anthem is on the Microsoft Store for a low $100. Is that a good buy or wait for a bit? I saw Anthem was being sold for $1 recently.
I saw that too.
Did you see Anthem for $1? That's so brutal, man. Connor Sargent is here. He says, I have to donate again for that amazing description about the Dreamhaven game. Well done, Sam. Don't worry, I thought it was a game too. Nielsen Neve says, do you guys think Luna will defeat xCloud? Definitely not. No question at all. xCloud is where it's at right now.
But it could be a serious competitor based on how much Twitch and Amazon's power in general.
Gaines Gaming Ginger says Ralph looking kind of sus. Vote dark blue, guys. Dark blue. And Ensign Hall says I too can read IGN. Welcome to our. You can replace us then. You can actually sit here on the couch and just do this for us. And Cesenia says you guys should try The Last Campfire from the same creator that did No Man's Sky. It's a sweet 5-hour game I've played. I did hear good things about that as well. You know what else I hear good things about?
Oh, okay.
Metal Gear.
Well, I mean, this is the only time that this is a good story for Konami. Okay, it's one of the
sort of.
Well, not really actually. The hype was there, I should say. Looks Metal Gear in like 1980 Metal Gear or whatever that was. Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear 2. and Castlevania and Contra were all recently they were rated in Taiwan. They were rated in Taiwan,
But then they were released on GOG.
and they were released on GOG. Well, I was leading up to that.
You were building up. This is nice.
Okay,
Nice.
so we thought originally, oh my god, are we seeing a remake? Are we seeing this on PC? A lot of people on Reddit and Twitter, and a lot of media publications were actually like, saying this may be the time we see an updated version of Metal Gear on PC. But it doesn't seem to be the case, or at least we don't know in the future. But for now, it just seems like it's a straight, boring port.
It is a straight port.
But we don't know for the future.
Yeah, we don't know if they're going to do something else. They've already remade Metal Gear once. I don't know why we don't have like Twin Snakes somewhere out in the wild that we can play it. Do you know what I mean? It's a shame. We should be able to go back to that. But anyway, there it is. It's out now. You can get it right now on Good Old Games GOG. It's like $15, I think, for.
I actually have Twin Snakes on my phone.
Oh, you do? You emulate? Oh, right. Yeah, nice.
I mean, I bought it.
I bought it legally, so it's
buy it
allowed.
legally.
It's allowed. One thing that we haven't talked about, actually, there's a whole block of Microsoft news here, so we're going to get into that now.
That's what I thought. You jumped. We should have all done that in one go. But anyway.
This is this guy's looking great, by the way.
Very nice.
Microsoft isn't done buying game studios, says CEO Satya Nadella. I mean, there was obviously we had, thanks for Ensign for bringing the news to us that obviously Microsoft purchased Bethesda.
Yes.
So since that news he dropped that news here with us.
Yes.
The CEO has responded and provided an update.
Oh, good.
And he says that they're not done buying studios. We can still expect them to continue the shopping spree. He says you can't wake up one day and say, let me build a game studio. The idea of having content is so we can reach larger communities. He's basically making the point that, they're not going to be setting up new studios. That's not their plan, really.
From the ground up, it's a lot of work.
It's about acquisition, So they've already have quite a few. Obviously, their new jewel is Bethesda, and the shopping spree will continue, but not Sega, because everyone was speculating. Oh my God, is it going to be Sega? They were dropping hints everywhere.
It's got to be something though.
Even this, no, there wasn't. At the Tokyo Game Show, the Sega presentation had nothing to speak of when it comes to Microsoft. Even the Sega account was trolling because they had like a picture of Sonic with two big green drinks that was super green. It was clearly like, hey, there's some Xbox stuff happening. Turns out there was nothing.
I mean, if
that was some real blue ball stuff there.
If there is in fact nothing, that would be really disappointing.
There is nothing so far.
Nothing so far.
Yeah.
But they were really hyping it up. There's a lot of photos. There's the special edition controller that was the exact same color as Sonic. There's the Xbox girl going like this with the box in front.
There were some definite things
there.
There
are a lot of things there. Now, I'm no conspiracy theorist, but Alex Jones would definitely think this is happening, okay?
Right.
I'm surprised that we haven't
They
seen
are
it.
speed demons!
Speed demons, everybody!
There's also more Xbox news in that Sony wasn't alone in the pre-order debacle. It went pretty badly for Xbox as well. I know that in Australia, the EB Games website crashed like immediately.
And sold within 20 minutes.
Out. I heard it was 20 minutes, but then I heard from a lot of other people it was less than that because the website was just so foobar. Basically it's sold out everywhere. It's completely sold out. If you wanted to get your hands on Xbox Series S or X at this point, very difficult. We had sort of anticipated otherwise. We kind of thought, PlayStation 5 is going to sell out, but Xbox will probably be fine. Turns out not so much, really. It's just like completely gone. And it was also similarly messy. The benefit of what Sony did by messing it up was that the bots weren't ready, people weren't ready, and so it was just kind of, you could actually get onto the websites and it worked. This, where they actually scheduled a specific time, the problem with this was that everyone was spamming the websites. Websites were crashing, bots were on there. It was all that sort of thing, and unfortunately, it did mean a lot of people missed out. So
yes, I think Xbox was like, hey guys, we're so good. We're so pro-consumer right now. We're going to tell you the exact moment we're going to do it. And in theory, it is. It's nice to do that. But I think the end result was a lot of people missed out. The amount of just traffic onto those websites completely balked it.
Yep.
And they were already dealing with a shortage through COVID and X, Y, and Z or whatever. It's disappointing, and a lot of people are angry because of it. They can't do. The point I'm trying to make is you can not tell people or tell people.
No, the thing is there are ways to do this. Okay, there are systems.
Raffle like M-Wave?
Yeah, no. There are systems that you can put in place around like digital, because I read this post. I don't know where I read it. It was a tweet.
I saw a virtual line.
There's that sort of stuff.
That's
There's
cool.
someone I don't even know where I saw it, but like you can, for example, you could create like a digital token. So if you have an Xbox account, you are confirmed, I've got it, cool, and then you submit something to Xbox. They give you one pre-order token. It's a code that lets you access a website. The website lets you go in a queue for the main website. So you're sitting there in queue. You're like, your position is 30,000 in the queue, and you sit there for however long, and eventually it lets you through to the purchase website. And that means that everyone is moving along without this website crashing. People can make their transactions. There's no bots involved because you have to have a verified account. There are ways to do it. And I think it's at this point kind of important that shit happens, because we've had PlayStation debacle, Nvidia card debacle, Xbox debacle. There needs to be a new system for this, because this is not working, you know?
The idea of people having to wait 30,000, it would be literally that long. The line would be horrendous.
But like the line would also be moving really fast. It's not like you'd be sitting. Maybe you do sit there for 8 hours, but at the same time, better sit there for 8 hours and have a spot in the line than just be spamming a broken website and then eventually miss out for, like, you know, you could be doing that for 2 or 3 hours, you know?
Also,
Microsoft has revealed, do you want to do this one?
Oh, whatever. Yeah, so Microsoft has finally revealed, so first things first, a lot of people were a little bit worried about what the SSD space was going to be, because we know that current games are getting up to like 200 gigabytes or something for COD. We know that we need a lot of space for next gen, okay? We might not need a lot of space immediately, but as the generation gets on, we are going to need that.
Sure.
Microsoft has shown now the Xbox Series X 1 terabyte expandable storage is priced at $219, which is about $334, I think, our price.
$360 Australian.
$360.
Because I bought one.
Oh, did you? A lot of people are pissed at this. But, as you pointed out on Twitter, there is, for 1 terabyte SSD, they are more expensive than the $360 that you would be paying.
Well, okay, the latest gen NVMe SSDs, the little, they look like RAM, and they go into your motherboard or whatever. Those are comparatively priced. A lot of people look at this and think, oh, this is just price gouging, and this is terrible that they're charging so much for these SSDs that we need, etc. This is the price of SSD. This is the price of memory. You know what I mean? It's basically a commodity at this point. You can look at and compare it, like one manufacturer to another, and say, well, what is the global price of memory at this point? And it's on point, man. Like it is expensive, no question about that. This is real dollars. $219 for a hard drive is a lot, but it's also just what it is. You know what I mean?
External hard drives though for 1 terabyte SSDs are like $500 or $600.
I mean, it depends on what you get. There's huge difference with SSDs and speed and reputation and all sorts of stuff. Like you could get a 500 gigabyte external SSD probably for like $100 now. Do you know what I mean? For a crappy one. But again, if you want proper, because don't forget, these hard drives are really fucking fast. They're not just like your standard SSDs. They're your next level SSDs that can stream huge amounts of data really fast. So that's why we're paying a premium for them. It is unfortunate that they're so expensive. I get that. But as I said, that is just the price of memory. It is not like Xbox racking up the price.
They've also said that normal SD hard drives can be used to play through, but you will experience low load times.
Well, this is the thing. You can't actually play Xbox Series X games on an old hard drive. You need one of these hard drives to do it. But what you can do is you can store a game on one of those old hard drives, have it plugged in via USB, and you say, cool, I've got my copy of Assassin's Creed Valhalla backed up. And if, a year later you decide you want to bring it out of cold storage, you copy it from the HDD or the standard SSD, and then you copy it over to your proper, like real fast Xbox SSD, and then you can play it on Series
In
X.
this article, I believe it does say that, Xbox was saying that you can play the games off the hard drive.
You can play Xbox One games. Not.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you sure?
Okay.
All right.
So that's that. As I said, it does suck that it's so expensive, but you can expect. This is how it is. You know what I mean? I said that is the price of memory. And,
I've also seen people on Twitter saying, like, most games, on the Xbox Series 1X, you may have, 6 to 8 games that you can put on. Most of the time, you can actually probably get away with 1 terabyte if you just keep 4 games or 5 games or whatever. You may be able to get away with just having that 1 terabyte. But most people that are, hardcore gamers or just want to play a lot of games at any given time, it's not going to be enough. But for a lot, it may actually just be fine.
Sure.
So that external expandable storage may be only really needed for people that really want to have all the games there.
we nerds here fall into that
We
category.
want that.
That's right. Loser Jerkface for $5 says, was late and had to do my own dump, forgot to pay my admission. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Don't be late again, okay? Ingram Fry says, standard. Rebecca is here for £10. Thank you very much, Rebecca. I've been watching you guys since you covered Resident Evil 2. Thanks for all the great content. Hope to see you playing some more horror soon. Cheers from Scotland.
Thank you, Rebecca.
I mean, Resident Evil
Appreciate you.
8, very pumped for that one.
Oh, yes.
And there's also this game called Medium coming out on Xbox Series X, which I'm looking forward to. So there's some horror games coming out for sure.
Cool.
And Metal
buying
Windex
Sony.
says Microsoft's buying Sony.
Okay.
So that's, we definitely believe that news. Thank
Oh my
you-
God,
thank
we
you
are
very much.
so over time
We
today.
are very over time today.
I didn't even realise.
Well, yeah, we're running. We're going long today, guys. We're
going along,
We're
finally.
cutting into Conan's time at this point. Okay,
Okay,
we're going to
good.
do it. Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield to mark Bethesda's largest engine overhaul since Oblivion. Now, one thing that got mixed, sort of a little bit missed in Todd's words with relation to the acquisition, was that he's planning on doing some work for their engine. Now, you might remember the engine for Bethesda games. Not so great.
Not so great.
Creation Engine is literally like 1,000 years old. It's based on Gamebryo. It's just literally patched. It's like continuing to patch up this old shack
With Band-Aids.
with Band-Aids and just like garbage they found on the street, and they stick it there with a. Let's hope that sticks, and that's how they build their game engine.
But
Okay,
it's
and that's how you get Fallout 76.
But it's important to, from what I know, is they are still going with the Creation Engine. They're just building it again from the ground up. They're still using the name Creation Engine, or they're still using a lot of components from the gaming engine, from the Creation Engine. I remember speaking about this, I think a year ago or a year or two ago, and it seems like it was already like that was what they were going to do in terms of keep the current Creation Engine and just kind of rework it, where it might have been better just to kind of go from the ground up with something brand new. But maybe because now they're working with Xbox, well, as Todd Howard says, actually, look, he says, we're seeing new worlds, we're going to be seeing new creative places being made, and of course that's going to demand bigger, CPU and bigger ways that we can create those worlds, hence why they're going to be doing the new Creation Engine.
I mean, the thing is, though, he says here, quote, it's led to our largest engine overhaul since Oblivion, with all new technologies powering our first new IP in 25 years, Starfield as well, the Elder Scrolls 6. Now, listen, I remember specifically being in the fucking audience at E3 when Fallout 76 was revealed, and he's like, oh, it's 16 times the detail, and like promising all these massive changes and enhancements to their engine. Sorry, Todd. It's not that I don't believe you. It's just that I don't believe you. Okay, we'll see how it goes. All right, the proof is in the pudding. Okay, in the tasting,
Yes.
and until we actually see it for ourselves, I'm pressing X on this.
Maybe
one.
there's an absolute need based on next gen and based on just where graphics are going and based on where creative choices are going with SSDs or whatever, right? In terms of weather patterns, and we're going to see all sorts of things that now are emerging within games that maybe weren't possible before. Maybe the Creation Engine is like, we have to change this.
They
now
have to change it.
if we are
so
going to
broken.
compete. And on top of that, because Xbox now is involved, maybe they're going to be leaning a lot on what they're doing internally with their own engines. They're also probably going to understand a lot better now what Xbox is planning to do with hardware, or what they're planning to do internally with their own games.
Do you know that now Microsoft owns like id Tech 7, like the engine
yes.
that runs Doom Eternal? Microsoft owns that. That's a big deal, man. If they own that engine, which means they can do whatever they want with
Put
it.
that in Halo.
Yeah,
Honestly.
exactly.
Legit.
No, it's too late for that now. But that's an incredible engine. Like it's astounding how that thing runs and how it looks. I mean, to be able to hand that engine to another studio and say, go and make a game, like Fallout New Vegas 2, would that work in id Tech 7? Probably not. But whatever, man, it would look really cool. That's just a really interesting idea. So, guys, we are going to be wrapping up soon with this. Some few quick stories to wrap up. We were going to be getting Baldur's Gate 3 on the 30th September. Turns out, got delayed. Only by a week, though. It's coming out on October 6th. And it's going to be accompanied by a romance and companionship update to pick you all up again.
Nice.
When they say pick up, I don't think they mean that in that way. But,
Well, maybe they did.
Maybe they did. That's it.
That's
so
pretty
then
cool.
you can expect that. Very excited for that. We'll be checking that out. We'll do a little
I think we'll do a
play
Let's
for
Play.
that. Hopefully it'll be a bit more exciting than the Let's Play we saw
Yes.
of the guy doing the demo.
We'll actually have checkpoints and we'll have abilities to load our game again.
Seeing you play Baldur's Gate is going to be so funny. Oh my god. But you like Divinity, though.
I did actually.
Yeah,
I did.
You know what you're doing. We've got a news here around another, well, a little,
Speaking of Doom,
little known game called Doom Eternal. It's coming to Game Pass. It's going to be coming on the 1st of October. I mean, that's it. That's all I can
surprised that
really
we haven't
say.
seen all Bethesda games.
I think eventually they will, but it's just it'll take some
the
time.
hype train. Yeah,
I think it's better to do it bit by bit rather than just dump them all on. It's better to like release them, build some hype behind them. But if you haven't played Doom Eternal yet because you didn't want to spend $60 or $70 or whatever it was in your country, you can just get Game Pass on October 1st and you'll be able to play Doom Eternal. That's pretty fucking sweet.
I think it's pretty fetch.
Actually, I think the PC version is a little bit later. It's first on console. It's coming later on PC in 2020. So there you go. Just keep that in mind as well.
So it's going to be at least November or December.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Very cool. Speaking of that, new free games. Okay, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. I mean, who gives a crap about that? Piku Niku.
That's next. That's not next.
Okay, that's the next one. Now below it says here
Rocket League.
Rocket League.
It's now free to play. It's
pretty cool.
Just past 1 million concurrent players, as I believe as well. I saw that on Twitter as well. So it's going huge. Rocket League is now free. I mean, I think everyone probably, if you were going to play Rocket League, you probably have already bought it. This is great for casuals who have never even heard of it before. But you can now play Rocket League for free. So go get that. And last up, guys, the Game Awards, the time or the date has been announced. It is happening on December 10th this year, live from LA, London, and Tokyo. Where's the Sydney? We would have hosted a segment here on the couch.
We would have done it.
We would have done it. You could ask us, Jeff. It's not too late, my man. Let us know. We'll make it happen. The Game Awards is the thing where everyone fights about what should have won.
Yes.
Except last year, everyone was pretty okay with Sekiro winning. This year, I suspect people will not be okay with The Last of Us winning.
I don't think it will win.
I think it will
there's
win.
too much dissonance with that. There's no way. The reason why I think Death Stranding didn't win because there was too many people disagreeing with it.
Too many games journalists all think this was the game of the generation. They froth it so hard. They love it. I will eat my hat if Last of Us 2 does not win. I'm at that point now. I'm just so certain.
If it wins,
I do not want it to win, by the way. I do not believe this is the game of the year.
Jeff, you must commit to a peaceful transfer of power, all right? We want you out.
That's right. Jeff's like, we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see. Guys, we've got one or two more Super Chats to finish up on that little political notes. Can't you believe you went and made it political, Sam? Don't you know that's not what he said? Xbox is buying Sony. We already got that one. Metal Wolf, and we've got shout out from South Australia, says Mellow Wolf 38. He says, I'm hoping Sony and Xbox battle it out next gen and give consumers only they get the benefit of that. I agree. That's well said. Seth Rich says, could Fallout 76 have been a cash grab to avoid being sold to Microsoft? Maybe. And Microsoft will eventually buy Japan, says Stefan. That's that. So, guys, thank you very much. That was a long Layman Live today, but we had a lot to get through, so we really appreciate you being here. Next week is going to be Mafia, and then some other things that we need to figure out yet, because there's really not much else coming out next week.
We're not sure, fam. But we will see you guys next time. Thank you also much for the donations. We do appreciate you.
We do.
Laymen out.